Let's move on to Stars Flames right now. And Alex Ramirez, Spidey, play of the day. Stars in regulation time at plus 120. He's also in Islanders regulation time. Stars game over 5, Islanders over 5. And he's hitting 17 and 10 in NHL since the restart. Dallas leading the series 3-2, and Ben and Seguin have stepped up, and that means so much to this Dallas Stars team because there's two guys that you just can't count on. Flames still winning the special teams battle overall, 25% power play since the restart, 86.1% penalty killing, where the Stars are at 14.3 and 77.8 respectively. The total opened up at 5. It was juiced to the over at minus 115. It's now juiced to the over at minus 120. And Dallas opening up at minus 130 and a 5-cent move towards the Flames. They're now minus 125. Gate Passkey says, like the Stars, Flames over for sure. First period and full game. Dennis Garcia says, Calgary getting screwed entire series. Should be ahead. Bobano, Stars, Flames.
Yeah, and I mentioned the elimination game overs at a total of 5. Same here, and I'm on the over here as well. And this has been this has been one of the highest scoring series of this round, and nobody expected that going in, especially with Dallas involved. We think of them offensively challenged, defensively structured and sound, but boy, this has been a high scoring series, and Calgary looks like they're wilting defensively. And finally, why didn't it show up last round when I bet Winnipeg, bastards? But why didn't this defense that struggled show up last round without Hamonic? And finally, I think we're finally starting to see this. Calgary defense finally misses Travis Hamonic. They've had a really tough time running around in their own zone, coughing the puck up, giving up 40, 50, even 60 shots in games to the Dallas Stars in this series. It's putting way too much duress on Cam Tell, but I think he's wearing down just a little bit as well. And, of course, they've had to go with Hudobin. And that's another thing to think about with the over here. Hudobin's not used to playing this many games in a row. And now he's playing this many games, and he's now facing a lot of shots. It's not like Dallas is locking it down completely either. Calgary's gotten to 30 shots or more in a lot of games. I think we'll see enough goal. Again, you're just talking about a 5 here, a piddly little 5. It's not like a 6 or a 6.5 in an elimination game for Calgary, too. They got to throw everything but the kitchen sink, including the kitchen sink at the Dallas net. It looks like Tkachuk isn't going to play there. They were really, really hoping for Matthew Tkachuk to return tonight for Game 6. That really does hurt because I don't want to say that's the full reason why the series has swung to Dallas, but Dallas has gotten better. They've gotten stronger. They've made Jamie Benn mad a game or two ago. You know, they got in his face, they started pushing him after the whistle, and that's the thing. Jamie Benn, you got to let sleeping dogs lie. Jamie Benn can be disengaged at times, but you wake him up, you get him to flip that intensity switch on. That's when he's at his best, and Jamie Benn has stepped up for Dallas of late. Tyler Seguin as well. I lean to Dallas in the game. I've already got them in the series. I don't know if I'll go against that because it's really been a back-and-forth type series for the most part. But I do think Dallas, I would lean Dallas for sure if I'm betting this from a side perspective, but I'm probably not betting that. I am on the over in this game, and I do have a goal-scoring prop in this game and one that I like quite a bit. Who's a big-time player for these teams in big games, clinching games, elimination games, whatever the case may be? Who's proven that over the last 10 years in this league? Joe Pavelski of the Dallas Stars. He's plus 260 to score a goal tonight. You got some stiffs in front of this guy, you know, in terms of the goal scoring prop market. Rupe Hintz, who's done nothing in this series, is plus 240 to score a goal. Radulov's been quiet, plus 240. And yet Joe Pavelski is plus 260, a big game player. Are you kidding me? With the pricing on some of these goal-scoring props, they got Joe Pavelski right there with Johnny Gaudreau and Sean Monahan, who you can't find them with a telescope most of this series for the Calgary Flames. That is value. In a big game like this, clinching game, we saw him score a goal in the final seconds to force overtime a couple of games ago. He's a big-time player in big games and big spots, and he's plus 260 just to score a goal tonight in this clinching game. Sign me up. Joe Pavelski, anytime goal scorer, plus 260.
Clint can get him at plus 300. I like it.
I got to start using Clint's book because I'm using another one, and he's gotten a better price on some of these than I have. So, yeah, I'm going to have to look for that plus 300. Even better. Great price.
I am going to pull the trigger on the Ovechkin props. My bets, my unit size in NHL is $200. I'm not going to put $200 on this because I'm going to cut it in half. For show purposes, they'll count as 2 bets. but I'm just going to do $100 on each here. Ovechkin goal, anytime goal, plus 125. Ovechkin over a half power play point at plus 150. I'm going to make those moves in the Islanders-Capitals game. Stars, Flames, I haven't been able to time the overs properly, which has been irritating. And I lean towards the Stars to finish off this series. I do understand Dennis feeling that the Flames have, sort of been screwed over by the refs. But I think the Stars are just a better hockey team overall. And I never know if Ben and Seguin are going to step up. And the fact that they have and Tkachuk is out, I just think that moves everything too far over to the Stars finishing off this series.
One thing about the total, you mentioned it. You haven't timed the totals right with the Calgary-Dallas series. It's been one of those series where a low-scoring game, the last game with these two teams has usually meant a higher-scoring game the next game. You look at this series, game one, 3-2 Calgary pushed on the total. Next game, 5-4 Calgary or Dallas flew over the total. Game three, 2-0 Calgary stayed under. The next game flew over the total, 5-4 Dallas. Last game, 2-1 Dallas stayed under. I think we get that flip again here to an over tonight.
Bright Ware says Flames haven't lost 2 games back-to-back all year. Interesting. I didn't know it was that few. Tkachuk is their best player. And the fact that the knuckleheads picked Levy over him is still just so irritating. Stars, Flames. I'm going to take the Stars to finish this series off. And I'm also going to go for the score. I think I'm going to take a -1 to finish this off. Let's just see what I get here quickly.
By the way, if you want Calgary goal scoring props, I see some chat about that from people in our chat box here. Dylan Dube and Sam Bennett. Those are the ones I'd be interested in. Sam Bennett's had a really good offensive series. He's plus 320. And Dylan Dube, I know he's cooled off a bit the last couple games, but he's still plus 425. And even though he's been held off the scoreboard the last couple, he still had chances. I think he had a post one game. So if I'm betting Calgary goal scorer props, Dube plus 425, Bennett at plus, I believe, 320. Yes.
I love that Bennett has stepped up. I've always cheered for him. Okay, I'm not going to take the Stars to -1. It's only a plus 136 to the minus 125. It's not worth it. I'm going to take the Stars to finish off the series. Bright Ware says Flames win today. Tkachuk is so important. So important. Now, I know Bennett and Lucic have stepped up. Thank God, because there's times when Johnny Hockey's missing in action. I'm Stars minus 125, and I am doing the Ovechkin props. That is my NHL card. Could you review your NHL action one more time for us, Babana?
Yes, indeed. New York Islanders. We're on them at minus 105. We're also on the New York Islanders Washington Capitals game over 5, minus 125. And I like Dallas Calgary, just the total there, over 5, minus 120. And also give me Joe Pavelski, anytime goal scorer, plus 260.
I'm on the Stars at minus 125. Richie Rich says this game is a toss-up to me. I just think the Stars are better. We shall see. Ovechkin, anytime goal, plus 125. Ovechkin over a half power play point at plus 150. That is my NHL action.